I'm Stephen Evans. I'm the Director of Skills and Youth at the London Development Agency, which is the Mayor of London's economic agency to promote sustainable growth and economically sustainable development. London entered the economic downturn last year with a high rate of structural worklessness. 1.5 million Londoners were already out of work, many of them from disadvantaged groups, many of them with multiple barriers to work, and many of them out of work for a long period of time. As the recession struck, we then saw a rise in short-term unemployment. People who hadn't previously been out of the labour market for long periods were losing their jobs and didn't necessarily know where to go for help and support to get back to work. And finally, critically, we had a shortage of jobs too. A shortfall in demand as recession struck meant that there weren't necessarily jobs for people to go to who were out of work already or who lost their jobs. So we set out our response to that and our plan to counteract it in 2 key documents. The first was the Mayor's Economic Recovery Action Plan, which we published in December last year, and that set out how the Mayor's agencies were going to work together to increase support for businesses so that they had access to finance when the banks tightened credit, increase support for individuals so that they could find work and get the skills training that they needed, but also bringing forward public investment to try and create new jobs. We then published in January the Joint Action Plan, and this set out in more detail the specific actions that we and the other government agencies were going to take together to work together to tackle that problem. A key challenge for London has always been the complexity of the skills and employment system, which leaves employers not knowing where to turn and individuals not knowing where to get help and support. So we've got a 3-track approach. The first is light touch help and support for those who've just lost their jobs so that they know where to go if they haven't been out the labour market for a long time. The second is more intensive support for those who are long-term workless, and we're going to invest an extra £50 million over the next 2 years for those. And the third is bringing forward public investment in Crossrail and the Olympics and tube refurbishment to create new jobs today, including through new green technologies and retrofitting of homes and public buildings. It's too early to tell whether this is going to work, but we've based it on evidence of what's worked in the past, and so we're hopeful that it will bear fruit soon.